When I started playing Elite Dangerous, there were some things that took me way too long to figure out. And today we're taking a look at some of them. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Down to Earth Astronomy and to Elite Dangerous. Since this game has a very steep learning curve and we're about to get a lot of new commandos on PlayStation, we will today take a look at 10 tips that can help you when you're starting as a new player in Elite Dangerous. To help me out today, I have brought in Yamiks, who will start things off.
Right then, as German wants, it shall happen.
Danish, I'm not German.
So the first tip, appropriately, is also the rule number 1 of Elite Dangerous. Do not fly without rebuy. This should be fairly clear and simple to grasp for anyone, even if you enjoy the daily dose of federal lobotomies. If you die while you don't have a rebuy, you still have the loan you can take from Anthill Mob or Yakuza, basically becoming a lifelong slave to degenerates. Still, if you run out of that too, well then you're more fucked than a tourist adventuring in Copenhagen's red light district at night. Seriously, I once did that, and the amount of drugs, hookers and dildos on display in 1 square meter was a unique sight to see. Anyways, if you don't have the money for a rebuy, you will have to declare bankruptcy and lose all your progression. So I guess it's not a complete loss, right?
I don't want to know what you were doing in the red light district at night, but the point about the rebuy is very valid. The next tip took me way too long to figure out myself when I started playing the game, and it really makes the game so much easier. I think most players know that sinking feeling you get when you need to go to a specific system, but after plotting the route you see that it's over 30 jumps away. Well, there's a way to make that trip a little shorter. If you open your galaxy map, you can change the settings of your jump drive from economical to fastest. This gives you a route with the fewest possible jumps rather than the route which is the most fuel efficient. This, of course, will reduce the range that you can travel on a full tank, so you'll have to find a way to get fuel along the way.
Ask and ye shall get. A solution that even some select salt-tempered wets make is not picking up a fuel scoop. Running out of fuel is not fun and can be considered as a mark of shame, even more so than thinking that a hauler is a good ship. Sure, there are solutions to this, like having a slave boy constantly traveling to your position supplying you with the juice, but honestly it's easier to use fuel scoop. Plus, it's not as expensive, so missing it is just a result of brain fart or lack of knowledge.
Now that we are talking about traveling, the Galaxy map has a lot of very useful features, including filtering stars by type, system state, population, and a lot more. If you're looking into trading, you'll be pleased to know that a Galaxy map also have trade information showing you which systems import or export different commodities. Therefore, I highly suggest new players spend some time making themselves familiar with the Galaxy map. It's time well spent, and it will become very useful to you at some point.
Now, I did mention fuel scoop, but even when you equip it, due to lack of brain power, running out of fuel is a possibility. Most super hardened vets will laugh at you for days if you find yourself in this situation where the nearest refueling star is just out of your reach. Still, fear not, I have found myself in this situation too. But what I did know was that there was this one unique player group called Fuel Rats, possibly the most altruistic players out there who dedicate their time to help out new and old players with fuel when this sort of thing happens. Seriously, I love these guys and what they do. So all you need to do if you find yourself in such a pickle is just head on to their homepage and ask for help. They are very helpful and even managed to teach me a thing or two. Link for the page Down to Earth will put in the description. Other than that, come on devs, give those guys a bubblehead.
Yeah, the Fuel Rats are definitely a very dedicated group of players who I'm sure everyone will need someday. Talking about multiplayer, Elite is a bit different on that point compared to other games. You see, regardless of whether you play in open play with other players, in private groups with your friends, or alone in solo play, you're playing on the same character. That means if you lose your ship in open play, you will also have lost the ship in solo play. That being said, you should not be afraid of playing in open play, since most players are very friendly and there are ways that you can spot potential hostile players ahead of time.
Let's say you decide to play in open or private. Here's a little interesting thing to know. On your radar you can see squares and triangles. They stand for ships and objects. Squares are normal ships or objects and triangles are ships but with hardpoints deployed. This little thing actually our host here taught me, don't you know. As for filled icons and empty ones, well, simple. Filled ones are NPCs NPCs and empty ones are players. Also, only players have their names starting with commander tags, so that's another way you can distinguish players from NPCs. Most players are friendly, but never rule out the possibility of a griefer. Whenever you see a player icon pop up, there are plenty of those in game, so just make sure to obey the rule number 1.
But regardless of how many tips and tricks you get, you will at some point find yourself in a situation where time is the key to your survival. And this is when you really need to be able to get the full potential out of your ship. To do that, I highly recommend you take a look at the control settings in the game, since there are a lot of very useful key bindings which are not used by default. This includes shortcuts to boost your shield with a shield cell bank, fire off your heat sinks or chaff launcher. You can even bind keys to target next system en route in case you need a quick escape.
Recalling the old days when I started playing, I was rather confused of what the fuck were all the things on my dashboard. And only after a while of fiddle fucking around I realized what the pips are meant for. Yeah, that thing in the right bottom corner. So class is in session for Power Management 101. In total you have 6 pips, more if you have multi-crew, but in essence you have 3 slots to put these pips in. Systems, responsible for shields only. The more pips you have in it, the stronger they are. For example, with 0 pips, your shield strength is 100%. The same reading you find when you outfit your ship, or in the console panel on your right. 2 pips to the system are estimated for about 8% increase in shield strength. 3 pips are 35%, and all 4 pips are 150%. Yes, maximum power to the shields gives you 250% shield strength. Check the link in the description if you want to read up on this. Moving on, we have engines. This limits the maximum speed your ship can reach. And just like in other slots, the more pips you have, the faster it recharges. Oh, and the more power you put to the engines, the faster your ship will also turn. And finally, weapons. This controls only recharge rate. No additional damage if you have 4 pips, just the charge. And I think that's about it on power management, for now. Did I forget anything?
No, I think you have covered everything you need to know about power management as a new player. The only thing I still want to talk about are all the third-party tools that have been made to make the life easier for all commanders. One of my favorite tools is EDDB. This is a homepage that gives you lots of useful information about where you can buy certain ships or modules, or if you're looking for a system with a specific set of parameters, it can help you out as well. I also find Inaro to be a very useful homepage, especially the section with engineering information can save you a lot of time when looking for the materials for your next ship upgrade. Talking about engineering, if you're planning to do some, you should look into ED Engineer. This is a program you install on your computer that will give you information about what materials you have and what you need to make a specific upgrade.
So I'm guessing that's it, right? 10 tips for all the newbies and not so newbies.
Yep, that's it. I hope you found this video useful and informative, so until next time, I'll see you guys in space.